Hey guys, welcome back to my video. In this video will review about 5 different matcha powders, and this is all just personal preference, and yeah. So the first matcha powder I'll be reviewing is some Uji matcha. I don't know the name of it. I got this powder from New York, and when I first opened the tin, it came in a green plastic bag. It was like tinted green in this tin, and it made it look greener than it actually looked. This is like my first time just like getting understanding of like ceremonial and culinary, and my first instinct is just to go look for something that's green. And when I first opened the package, I was like, oh, okay. And then I cut the green bag, and I'm like, okay, this is not as green as it's supposed to look. But I still gave it a try. And here's me making my matcha latte without any ratios or my like usual like eyeballing ratio, and it works out pretty well. I just put like 1 to 2 teaspoons of powder and then just enough water, and eyeball the milk. I don't put too much milk because I don't really like light tea, and I like my things bitter. It's either bitter or nutty. It's kind of weird, but yeah. So for this matcha specifically, it tasted more vegetal and grassy, and then there was like a chalky aftertaste. I'm not sure if it's because I put too much powder in it, but it was a bit chalky, and it was vegetal and grassy. I'd rank this matcha a 2 out of 5. The color was like and the taste was like bitter, but like it wasn't the right kind that I was looking for. So next one up, we have the Sugimoto Tea Ceremonial Matcha, and I got this one from H Mart for about $30. And when I first opened up the package, I was actually kind of surprised by the green, because I didn't expect me to get like this green matcha from just a regular grocery store, which I really love because now it's convenient. And I made a matcha latte with it, and now we're gonna rank it and see how it tastes. And again, I did not use a ratio with this matcha latte, and look, it's actually really green, surprisingly. And for this matcha latte, it was more on the vegetal side again, and not as bitter, but I kind of like it in some way. Like, it was just better than the first one, and it was also smoother than the first one, and it frothed up really nicely, like really nicely. I don't know how I did that, but I did that. And you cannot tell me that you're not amazed by that green and that color, because I am. Fill up our cup with ice and eyeball the milk, and I yap away while I'm doing my milk pouring. And here we're doing my favorite part, which is doing the matcha pour. Oh my gosh, I love how it just sits on top of the milk, and it's so freaking pretty. I personally ended up loving this matcha powder, and it was like, it tasted bitter and vegetal at the same time, not grassy, in like a good way. It hit the right spot for me. Next up, we have the powder that got me started. Actually, it was my first matcha powder that I bought in bulk myself, and did not know that it was culinary grade, but I still ended up loving it because of the bitterness. I don't know how many times I'm going to use the word bitter in this video, but I just really love bitter tea. Like, I don't know how to say it. And it was my first powder, and I was like, oh my gosh, this thing is amazing, until I found out there was better ones, and there's actually different flavors of matcha. that you can buy, and I was like, hold on, pause. The world did not tell me this before. And yeah, so this culinary grade, as you can tell, it's more dull, not as bright green, but don't judge and don't come at me because it was my first one and I did not know. But it was still really, really good, and I still wanted to do a review about it. But instead of you making a matcha latte with it nowadays, I make overnight oats with it. And if you guys want to see how I do that, I'll show you guys in another video another time. But as you can see, this is like not a good matcha color, but I don't know, I had to include her in because she was like my first, you know. It's one of those things. And she was kind of pale, not that she was bitter and so because I realized that there was better ones out there, but we're not gonna disrespect her. She was like okay, she was my first. So next one up, we have the Kyo matcha powder. I got the imperial grade because I like the diagram it showed on their site or on Amazon. It shows like the profile, and everything was pretty evened out, and I liked how like bitter was high and like everything was high, so I was like, okay, this is something strong and I would like it. I like strong taste like drinks, especially when it comes to tea. So it's my first time buying it and my first time opening it and my first time seeing it, and you can tell how surprised I am by the color because oh my Lord Jesus, it was so bright. Like the green was bright. I've never seen it because I'm still getting into matcha. I've been obsessed with it for about a year now, and I'm still on my journey to find my favorite one, and this one made it to my list. Even though it's a bit tad expensive, I wouldn't buy it all the time, but like maybe for special occasions. But look at that green. Look at that green. It was green. It was really, really green. I was like, oh my gosh. I understand now. We're gonna be moving in the right direction. We're not gonna be buying dull matcha. I mean, I still would to make like pastries and like food with it, but in our drinks, we're gonna make sure it's bright green, or at least try to, you know. But the whole time when I was making this matcha, I was in shock the whole entire time. I was like, I didn't know this green existed in matcha because I would used to buy matcha in like Starbucks, Dunkin' before I started doing it on my own, because I'm like, you know what? Everything is so sweet out there. I can't do sweet and I like bitter. I'm gonna do this myself. And that's how I ended up with that ginormous bulk of matcha that I just went on Amazon, googled matcha powder, and I was like, this is a reasonable price. I'm gonna buy it, and I bought it and then did no research and then just drank that. And then matcha powder started showing up on my page and I was like, hold up, pause. There's other ones out there. I see now. And now I'm really, really getting it after seeing this in person. When I was making it myself, I was like, I also forgot to say, when I opened that package, the smell was amazing, and the color, like everything. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is a recipe for matcha addiction. Oh my god, my wallet, my poor wallet. And now we're reviewing our last matcha powder of this video, which I also bought on Amazon when I was looking for a ceremonial grade. I bought it with the Kyo one together, and this one's the Naoki one. I've also seen reviews on TikTok about it, and it's like a mixed opinion, so we'll see. My standards, oh my gosh, aren't that high, so as long as the color is good and it tastes bitter and nutty at the same time and not too sweet, I'm all here for it. I'm here for it. So when I first looked at the powder, it was green. It was green. It wasn't as green as Kyo, but it was green. Like, I would say there's only like a 0.5 difference in the green level, but it was like, wow, they exist. And this one was also a little bit less expensive than the Kyo one, so if this one tastes really good, I might continue buying this one because this one's more in the budget range. The other one's not. And again, throughout this whole video, I was eyeballing all of the ratio. But recently, I also learned something new. People use a scale, and there's ratios. So, for my next one, the next time when I do another review, or when I'm making my own matcha, not on camera, I'm gonna try the ratios, and if it works out, I'll share my ratio in my next video with different powders, or maybe the same one. And now let's look at that Naoki matcha pour. Look at that pour, and look at that color. Amazed again. And taste test time. Look at that green. Oh my gosh, it was really good. It was really good. Nutty and bitter at the same time. Hit the right spot. In love. And here's my personal preference matcha ranking. I would definitely be repurchasing the Naoki matcha. And yeah, I'll also be trying more matcha brands and I don't know, exploring the matcha world. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Thank you. And thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video.